So I'm going to cook up some Great Northern beans today, and we're going to pressure can them. And the first thing you want to do is get your beans ready. And you want to sort these because they are an all-natural product, and you will sometimes find stones in there. In fact, almost every bag I've ever went to, I found at least one stone in, so you'll want to look through them. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover them with water, boil them for 2 minutes, let them sit for a couple hours, and then we'll dump that water off, put fresh on, cook them for 30 minutes, and then we're going to pressure can them. And that way we'll have them ready for if we want to do bean soup, or we can make baked beans. You can also make your baked beans out of those cooked beans and can that instead of just canning the beans if you want to have your baked beans ready. So I've got 3 pounds of Great Northern. From everything I can find, it says 5 pounds will make 7 quarts, but we'll see what we get out of this. Turned me into a liar. Out of the 3 1-pound bags of beans, I didn't find any stones, but I did find a few brown and misshapen and ones that we picked out of the bean bag. Throw those away. As I said, we're going to cover these with water. We'll bring them to a boil for 2 minutes, and then we're going to let them soak for 2 hours, and we'll go from there. Gotta pee on every snow chunk, you know. Well, Friday we got about another 18 inches or so of snow, and we had about another 4 this morning on top of that. So the snow piles had dropped down a little bit, but not anymore. So we're back up again, and it's getting towards the end of February. Tomorrow's the last day of February, and I've really had enough of winter. But this is a typical winter. You know, snow hasn't been overwhelming. It's not great, but it's winter in New Hampshire. That's what you expect. You can see the snowmobiles going through. There's part of the snowmobile. Hard to see them through the snow piles, but we'll see them across the driveway down here. That's where the trail crosses the driveway. Okay, now the beans have cooked. We're going to ladle them into the jars. You want to leave at least an inch of headspace. We'll scoop the beans in, then we'll add some liquid. The beans aren't quite done, but they're fairly soft actually. A little more bean in there. Just a little bit more liquid here.
Six quarts and a pint. 3 pounds of beans.
Not bad. So you want between 2 and 3 inches of water in your pressure canner, and it's cold water, so we're heating it up. Get it up to a boil, then we'll put the cans in and close up the lid, and it'll need to process at 10 pounds for 90 minutes. To boiling, so we're going to put in the jars. The pressure canner manufacturer recommends that you, every few times you use the pressure canner, that you put a trace of olive oil around this little beveled edge here and they don't recommend that you use any other kind besides olive oil. And that just helps to, because there's no gaskets with this type of pressure canner, it's metal to metal. This just helps create a seal. And usually I do it while it's cold, and I forgot. And it's a little warm now to be doing it, but we're going to put the lid on here and seal her up. This is an all-American pressure canner, and I like this because it doesn't have the rubber gasket to wear out. It's got these wing nuts that you tighten up, and it's a metal-to-metal seal, but it works very well. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this, you don't put the weight on it. We're going to wait for it to come up to where steam starts to come out, and once steam has vented for 7 minutes, we'll put the weight on there at 10 pounds for 90 minutes. We'll just let it build up pressure.
We're venting. Now we're going to give it 7 minutes. We'll put the weight on it.
Now it's vented for 7 minutes, so we're going to put the weight on at 10 pounds. And when this starts to jiggle, we'll adjust it so that it's barely jiggling, and then we'll time it for the 90 minutes. Okay, now it's jiggling away, so we're going to adjust it down so that it's barely jiggling. So it'll jiggle and then it'll stop, and that's about where you want it. You don't want it a long period of time in between your jiggles there, so. But you also don't want it to spit continuously. Well, they're done. The pressure on this has dropped down to 0, so we can take it off.
You can see it's still boiling in
yep.
the jars.
When I pull one out here, you can still see, and it'll boil for a good half hour at least. Gets a little warm in there. If the lids on these haven't already sealed, you'll hear them ping while they're sitting, and you want to let these sit till cold. We're going to let them sit overnight because it's going to take quite a while for them to cool off, as boiling as they are. Nope, there goes the ping.
That one right there. That one's sealed too.